Welcome to the MFS Wellness Podcast, a hybrid structure encompassing health, fitness, self-improvement, and entertainment, where no topic is off limits and all opinions are graciously welcomed.
Let's get on with the show!
And now, here's the host of the show, Mike Sinopoli.
This is the MFS Wellness Podcast. I am Mike Sinopoli, and I am back after a 1-month hiatus there. Didn't mean to do that. Just life got a little busy. I have been doing another podcast called The Ford Show. You can find us over on Spotify, YouTube, and all the other platforms. We kind of go off the rails a little bit. We do some crazy news stories, some true crime, some games. We have some guests, notable ones such as Joe Exotic and Man Cow. So it's been fun, been doing that a little bit. But I do want to get back here to this podcast and, just kind of go through some a little more, serious, I guess, topics, some things that are, maybe we can all throw off each other and improve ourselves with a bit, that I like to come on here and do. And remember, I come on this podcast not to instruct anybody, not to tell anyone what to do, not to say, hey, look at me, I know all this shit. I just kind of look at stuff that comes along that I see, that I have an opinion on, that I maybe need to improve upon on myself. And I go ahead and I just kind of talk. And that resonates with some people, and it's been great. The feedback has been amazing. I got some wonderful listeners that have been with me since I started this thing. And, I enjoy it. And thank you. Like literally thank you people who have been listening to me do this thing. It's great. So, so I've been doing the other one, and those of you who listen there, thank you. A little different style here, but moving along, and I'm going to try to be more regular here. A lot going on in life right now, but all good things. And, it's a good busy right now, which is nice to have. It's been a wild year for me, personally. And, it really, though, everything is coming out where it needs to be. And all I can say about that from my personal experiences to anyone out there who may be down, hopeless, frustrated, or feeling a certain sense of just when will my time turn? It happens. Sometimes it's quick, sometimes it's not. But things do happen apparently for a reason in some case, whether they do happen for an actual reason that was predetermined by some divine power, or whether we just kind of associate a reason to it after it's happened. And either way is fine. So, us as humans, it's a blessing and a curse to have such rationale and always find a meaning and reason for something. It's a great thinking exercise, but, sometimes it's okay to just sit back and say, hey, things are how they are because they are, and they don't need an explanation. It's not easy to do, but, we want our answers. We really do as people. We really want answers. We need explanations, and we need them now. But nevertheless, getting into this topic today of success and the definition of it and what really determines success. Whenever our society here in the United States, whenever we call somebody successful, the minute we think of a successful individual, we think fame, we think wealth, and we think, nice cars, nice materialistic things. That's just kind of, I think, what the successful mindset has shifted to based on our culture. And in some cases, that is the definition for success. But I will say this, and I strongly, strongly believe that success is subjective, it's individualized, and it cannot be argued, in my opinion, unless you specifically are saying a barometer for success is this. Maybe it's money, okay? If we're going to go ahead and say, well, we're going to just use money as success or wealth or whatever it is, or net worth or whatever it is, then fine, you can go ahead and do that, but you have to have those parameters agreed upon. But not everyone's going to sit there and say that, oh, money is the driver of my success. Success is 100% different for every single human being. And, one of the biggest things you can do in life personally is understand what your version of success is and fuck what everybody else thinks, because that's going to thwart what you really want. So if, somebody is out there, their one person's version of success could be starting a business and having making it a multi-million-dollar corporation. That's their version of success. While another person may just be wanting to get out of an apartment and into owning a condo or a townhouse or something like that. That might be their version of success. It could literally be anything. It could be starting a podcast. It could be losing 50 pounds. It could be whatever you deem successful for you. So, and no one can shit on that. And if they do, they have a problem with themselves. And that is 100% true, because anyone that's going to shit on your success, your version of it, provided it's ethical and not hurting anybody, then I believe that they have an issue within themselves and they're falling short of their own version of success, or perhaps they are looking to the external for what success is and they're not able to obtain it because of whatever reasons. So that is the type of person that might crap all over your success. So, you know, that's one of the best things we can do to feel accomplished in life. You know, that's something we're always just like looking for, I think. Like, hey, I need this big epiphany, this big finale of life. I need to feel successful, but I just don't know if that actually is there. I think success is kind of ongoing, meaning that like you're always going to be striving for something, or you should be, because, you know, hey, if you got nothing to strive for, nothing to look for, nothing to complete, nothing to, you know, get final in your life and move on to something else, what are you doing? And you're just kind of existing. So look at success as not a word of fear, but maybe like a word of like motivation or inspiration of the sort. You know, hey, like holy shit, I can figure out my own version of success. Get out something, get an Excel document together, get something written down on paper, whatever you want. Write these things down of what is success to you and what you want to hit. You know, it doesn't, and of course, I'm a health fitness dude on the internet and shit, and I do a nutrition consulting business, but I mean, it also doesn't have to be related to that. You know, it doesn't have to be that. You know, it can be. You can do that. Maybe your version of success, you know, for somebody is to step on stage for a competition. Maybe that's just your goal. Say, hey, I want to do this. I want to step on stage and I want to just be out there and do it. And that is success. But say you get on stage and you don't place, you don't win any trophies, you don't win anything, any medal or anything like that. Someone's going to view you as a failure. But really your goal was just to do it, get on stage, because that takes a shit ton of discipline and a shit ton of work and a shit ton of time to get done. So always going to be somebody that craps on your success. There's always going to be somebody. And whether they're full of themselves, whether they have a narcissistic problem within them, or whether they're just envious and jealous and choose to rain that sort of negativity down upon society, let them do it and just leave them alone, because you're not going to change their fucking mind. And that's just the way they're wired. So you just have to pat yourself on the back. The right people will know what you're doing and do that. And then, you know, if you get on stage, maybe you do it again and you want to place, and that's your goal. And if you fall short, you try again. There's really no failure. You're still like progressing in life and you're still learning shit. Like that's a success in itself. You know, I sat down and had a conversation with my kids about mistakes and not feeling bad about it. I said, some of the smartest people have made the most mistakes, because every mistake you make, you learn something. So fear of mistakes, no thanks. You know, the more mistakes you make, the closer you get to success. That's so true. So if you have a goal, you want to get to it, and maybe it's playing a song on a piano or a song on a guitar. How many times are you going to fuck that shit up and fuck up the notes, and your hands are going to go in the wrong position? You're going to play a certain part that when it was not in there, the tempo is going to be off. You're going to be messing up left and right. But one day you're going to go ahead and play that song right through with no errors. And that's the success. But how many mistakes are you going to make before you reach that success? That's what I'm telling my daughter with this piano she's doing right now. She's in and out kind of a piano, gets a little frustrated, and, you know, very natural. I told her that's okay to feel frustrated. It's part of it. And overcoming that frustration is what's going to lead to her success. So I try to instill that in a 9-10-year-old here. And I think that's a great thing to do to start at that age, because, you know, I coddle this stuff and, you know, whatever. Oh, you don't have to do it. No, it's fine. No, do it. Keep going, provided they want to. That's what and encourage them. And constantly, I'm always saying that the mistakes are part of this. Let's go out there and make some mistakes. That's just the way it is. And that's the path to success, in my personal opinion. So, you know, like to get back on track a little bit though, you know, how we measure success is, like we said, subjective. So you really don't need to, you can find like maybe a support group that has the same goals as you, provided it doesn't become negative with too much competition, negative competition, you know, more of a support type type deal of, hey, I did this, you did that. Let's all try to reach this together, and let's not say, oh, I'm going to beat you and be the first one there and all that. That kind of motivation's fine. It might light a little fire under your ass. Maybe a little ego comes into play, which is natural. They do that to me in the sales world. We have our rankings district-wise, our rankings national, and that's just something they do to put a fire under your ass. And then, of course, whoever's up at the top is considered the most successful according to the company. That's the company's model of success for the sales team. And I can't argue that because that's the company's idea of it, and I have to be in there with it. However, there are successes personally throughout my job and other jobs around there that you can find on your own. And you can be proud of those things. You may not get any recognition from the company. It may be something expected or whatever it is. But as you grow, you learn, and you just kind of move slowly into your comfort level. I don't want to say comfort zone because that gets such a bad rap. But as you become more acclimated to what you got to do, that's a success in itself. Even if it's part of the job requirement, reaching those requirements is successful. So anyways, I always like to, get other ideas and not just my own here. So I pulled up this is from medium.com. It's the top 10 ways to measure your success. So this is by a guy, and wow, I did not read this man's name, and I'm such a freaking immature little shit because I just realized his name is Zohaib Butt. I think I said that right. Zohaib Butt, B-U-T-T. But anyways, this was published a few years ago, and it's the top 10 ways to measure your success by Zohaib Butt. And I'm going to keep saying that name. Anyways, his number one, I'm going to start back at number 10. I like to do top 10s from the back. The number of goals you have achieved. So that could be one way that you measure your own success, like how many. I don't know if I like that because you're just setting goals and setting things to achieve just to set them, to get them done. That's like just putting a bunch of shit on a checklist and then checking it all off and then feeling empty at the end. So I guess that is a way to do it, but as long as those goals are fulfilling, those goals are something that brings you, I don't want to say happiness, but some sort of fulfillment. As long as there's some substance to those goals, I can see that. But if you're just setting goals to get numbers and achieve that, I think you're just spinning some wheels there, just trying to get trying to find that feeling of contentment in your life. That can run into that. Number 9, number of regrets. I guess I like that. Like if you can be on your deathbed, and we talked about in a recent episode about the regrets of the dying. Number of low regrets. That's a great one. I was talking to my daughter too, because we were talking about musical instruments. Again, she's learning piano. I'm on guitar. And one of my biggest regrets is not taking my guitar and my bass playing more serious through my youth. And I got my first bass when I was 15 or 16. I'm decent. I'm nowhere near where I should be, nowhere near where I want to be. But hey, I have to come to the acceptance that I can either A, progress from here where I'm at, make it a higher priority if I have the time and the desire, or I have to just say, hey, you know what? I did what I did. I am where I'm at, and that's what it is. So it's okay. It's a minor regret. It's one I can live with. If I am on my deathbed and wish I was a better guitar player, then so be it. If that's my one regret, okay, my life might have been successful then. So moving on to number 8, the more balanced life you live. Balance, again, is as subjective as the success of how we balance things. People have different versions of balance. I know I do, and your version of balance can really cause some friction with somebody that you are close to, because if your balances are not aligned together, you can have a lot of conflict. So you have to define what a balanced life is, first of all, for yourself, and assure that your balanced life isn't leading into some form of selfishness and neglect of something else. So that's a bit of a vague one to me, that the more balanced life you live. I agree with balance. I love it. I don't want to sit around and be one of those people who brags about working 90 hours a week and traveling all over the place for a company, missing out on family and friends and other fun things in life that feed quality of life. So, okay, good one, but a little vague. 7, amount of time you spend doing things you love. I love this one personally because that means freedom. And I know freedom is a bit of a trigger word for some people these days because, of how it's used politically. But at the same time, there is a level of freedom that we'd like to have. And there's also too much freedom, which can cause chaos. So to me, spending time doing things you love, that is where you have basically enough money. It's kind of like retirement, where you have enough money to go ahead and just spend as much time as you can doing what you want to do on your time and your schedule. There's nothing more successful than that to me personally. This number 7 one is huge. It should be higher up if this is a ranking. But for me, that success is just basically having control of your time. And control of your time is going to be kind of based on your life and whether you have kids, the type of job you work, that's going to be how you control your time, but also how much wealth you can accumulate. Because the way to get wealthy is to, get enough money in a certain spot to where you can, whether it's invested, however, to earn passive income and just have that coming in and to cover your bills and cover your lifestyle. And now you're free. You're essentially free. That's freedom to me, is as much as we can get, because you're still under the government's rule. You're going to still pay your taxes and property tax, and all your bills are there. But if you can get that covered and you don't have a boss, you don't have a job to get to or deal with any employees or clients, that's a form of freedom and a great measure of success to me, because it kind of covers a little of everything. Satisfaction level is the next one, number 6. Sure. And again, that's going to be at the person's discretion. If you're satisfied, are you ever satisfied? At what point do you just become satisfied and complacent? Maybe, you got to be honest with yourself with that one. Again, a bit vague, but number 5 says stress levels. And I like this one because he breaks it down into 2 types of stress: positive and negative stress. Positive stress leads you to perform better or to achieve something. Positive stress brings you growth in your life. Negative stress is bad for you and your health. Suppose you keep yourself under this negative stress for a long time. Then you will start appearing older than your age. It may lead to health problems like blood pressure, diabetes, and other health problems in your life. So I guess a stress management, low stress is success. And I kind of agree. I'm just going to consolidate this one into just the negative stress. So I'm going to go ahead and just say that stress is bad for your body. It's bad for your mind. And it causes a lot of bullshit within. So, low stress and that freedom of doing what you want. Holy shit. That is, to me, the 2 right there. You put your health in there with it. Those are the 3 pillars right there of success to me. The people whom you've helped is number 4. Life is not just about living for yourself, he says. It's how many people you've helped. So you can see success as selfless as helping other people. So while one version of success is the one we see mostly on Instagram, social media, on TV, around the world, and basically the country. I mean, in the U.S. and other countries too. But they want to show you the success we talked about at the beginning: the wealth, the cars, the status, the clothing, the brands you wear, be seen and all that bullshit. That's not success to me. I'm going to be honest with you. That's just a bunch of fucking crap, as is a bunch of self-soothing and vanity and garbage, and just show me this and show me this. You need it. You're craving the external to validate your success by showing it off like that. And this one, number 4, is definitely the people whom you've helped is good, because that's about, hey, look at all these people I've helped in my life. I can kind of say, in my way, even though I do, charge for it, is not charity work, about helping people with their food management, their weight management, their diet, their training. That to me is a sense of that. I feel really good about the amount of people I've been able to help. Some people have told me that I've changed their lives. That is holy shit. That's wow. Humbling, and just imposter syndrome and all that just kind of goes through you. But in reality, there's gratitude there that I was able to do that. And that's success to me. I will talk about a client of mine, Carissa. I'll always mention her because she was a client of mine a few years ago. We worked together, for a couple of months, and halfway through her session, she knew what she was doing. She took her diet, did great things with it. She even started up her own her own like fitness program and everything like that for working out and for diet and nutrition and macros and all that. So to me, that's like a great, for my personal success, that's one of the, as a nutrition coach or trainer, that's actually the best route for me. Like taking away the dependency of somebody kind of constantly being a client, like just kind of like extracting money from them, creating that dependency. Okay, that's the business side of things. And I mean, don't get me wrong, like to have a repetitive clients reoccurring is a great thing. I'm not saying no, because some people do it in different phases and in different time. So where I'm going with this is that she was able to go ahead and work with me for a little while, apply it during the session, do it in herself, where she didn't even really need my help towards the end of it. And then she went along and did it herself for a while and created her own nutrition business. Like that is like the ultimate like success for me when you put it all together, the reality of it. So that is helping other people. Now they've gone on to help themselves, and now they're helping other people. So this helping people pattern kind of keeps going. It's a nice positive trickle effect. So I like that. So that's something I'm proud of and proud of her. Number 3 is the amount of money you have. We talked about this already. Again, I don't know. It's successful in a sense if you go back to the one we talked about as far as the amount of time you doing what you love. And granted, you don't need to be retired or free of work for that. But you can still do things you love. Maybe your job is something you love. So I wanted to go back and touch on that. But the amount of money you have is probably the main barometer of success when we think about it like we talked about. So I'm not going to go into that further, but I don't believe that should be the standalone reasoning, because you could have, $1 billion and be absolutely miserable in your life. And you're maybe estranged from family, divorced, you're 70 pounds overweight, and you neglected everything else for the sake of a dollar sign at the end, or how many zeros at the end of your bank account and shit. Don't get me wrong, money's great. Never shitting on money, but if you're not balanced, like it said before, it all kind of ties together here. 2 is fame. Again, these are the superficial versions of success. I mean, yeah, okay. So is somebody famous with more successful than me? I guess in some patterns of life, sure, why not? But again, if a successful person doesn't feel like where they're at is where they want to be, but they're looked upon as more successful by society, but somebody else is exactly where they want to be, and they're just not really known by society, then who's to say the famous person is more successful? Because number 1 is a happiness level. Happiness gets thrown around a lot, but I think that's just contentment and overall feeling good throughout all different situations. I think one of the best barometers of success, when I'm trying to get to, it's taking a long time and maybe never get there, is just to feel happy through no matter what happens. I think that's what happiness really is you think like there's happiness is this blissful place where you're just nothing goes wrong. But I think happiness is just flat out keeping yourself in a good spirit throughout any time, throughout anything, looking at things in an optimistic way. Again, I don't really have a lot for you there, just because I'm trying to seek that out myself. But I try at night just to stop and list what's going good, what's going well, what is great. And if you can really grasp that and sincerely feel it, you're going to feel successful in your life and realize, okay, you know what? I got some things to work towards, but that's life. That's what we're going to keep doing. And, that kind of came in with the goals achieved. Some more goals need to be achieved. And that's just exactly what it is. So happiness level, I think, is a great number 1. I think that's ultimately where all those other things kind of just can be combined into one big blob of happiness for success. And that's really what it is. Success is definitely, I don't know. It's definitely a subjective. That's all I can tell you. That's all I know. And all I'm trying to get through on this episode here, because I am trying to wrap it up. Believe me, I talk too much. You see, a great success for me would be to shorten up my podcasts, say under 20 minutes. I'm a little over now. But I believe shorter listens for these kinds of things, more concise, less rambling is good. So I am attempting that. So we'll see what kind of success I have with it. But overall, take away from this episode, to wrap it up, to kind of just put a sweet little bow on it, and take away this: success is yours. It's yours. It's in your hands. As long as you're ethical and you're not hurting anybody, I think that no matter what success barometer you want to find, I think that's great. And I think that success should be, taken in along the way. If you have one major goal, find small successes throughout to kind of keep you going and keep you, positive, and turn off the criticisms, turn it off. If, you can always seek help, always seek out some guidance. There's nothing wrong with that. That's actually great to do, because asking for guidance, asking for help is a strength, not a weakness. We got that all turned around when it comes to like trying to seek out therapy and other things and help. But find those successes and celebrate those, even if it's just for yourself, because, fuck everyone and their little opinions. And they're a lot of times, and most of the time, they're just shitting on you because they haven't figured it out themselves. You take an Anthony Bourdain, right? Guy that committed suicide about 6 years ago. He basically had it all, right? He was traveling the world, meeting with famous people. It looked like he was a truly successful person, but the suicide came in, and that was it. So where's the success in those things with that if you're gonna end your life? But just put your head down, keep it to yourself, do it for yourself. Set all the goals you can, goals in between, and keep yourself happy. So, that's it for this episode. Again, thank you for those who listen. And, I got a bunch of topics lined up here. Eventually going to get the guests back in here, but scheduling people has been difficult, just around my own life and schedule. And I don't want to keep pushing people off and saying, I can't do it today or this or that. So, it's fine. We'll get there. It'll happen. I love doing this. Like I said, even if I only have one listener one day, I'll keep doing it. So anyways, you can reach me on social media. What am I on now? I'm always bouncing around. I'm on Instagram. I'm on X. I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. So I'm on all those now. It's at MFS Wellness. My email address is mike@mfswellness.com. So, keep in mind your successes, and they're yours. They're nobody else's. You are in control of those. And, take this. If you listen to this and you're hesitant to go and do something, just go and do it. Remember that the mistakes and the failures lead up to the success. So keep that in your mind and have the best of luck getting to where you need to be. Thank you.